After completing the spectacle plate, well, the outline at least, obviously still more work to be done, I've gone ahead and made all the other parts for the cab and the coal bunker. So the coal bunker sides, coal bunker front, coal bunker rear, and the cab sides. The only part I haven't made is the roof. I do also need to cut out the coal hatch on the front plate for the bunker, round about here somewhere, but I'll do that after I've got it mocked up together. When it comes to holding the various parts of the cab together, Don doesn't give a lot away. But tucked away on one of the drawings, there's some detail showing that the cab sides are attached to the cab front using some 1/4 by 1/4 by 16th angle. He does also give the position of the coal bunker on the rear running plate, and I guess that's the reference for everything else then moving forwards: coal bunker, cab sides, spectacle plate, over here somewhere. I will need some running boards, but I don't want to be making these middle running boards until I've sorted out the issue with the motion brackets up towards the front of the loco, because that's where the side running boards meet the front running board. So that is quite a key component in the size and positioning of the running boards. So I'll be holding that off until I got the motion plates sorted out. I'm going to kick off with the bunker, so I clamp both sides together onto the milling table and then centre drill and drill 4 holes across the bottom. These are 1.8mm diameter, so ABA tapping size. As I use my DRO to drill the holes in the sides, I do likewise with the angle. This is a piece of 1/4 by 1/4 by 1/8. The brackets for both the cab sides I've made flush at the front end. This is going to be the access doorway. And at the rear end, I will need to cut them flush to suit the angle of the rear of the coal bunker, but also 1.5mm shorter to allow for that rear face to sit inside the cab side. I am, of course, going to go with the easy option to cut the screws to length. Because I can swivel this vise, I've loosened it off and I'm using a dial gauge now to align the rear angled edge to the y-axis. I'm doing this because I want the rear end of the angle bracket to be at the same angle as the rear of the coal bunker. Because the bracket is going to need to be 1.5mm indented from the back edge here, I'm going to first scribe a line, then I can remove the cab side and then use an end mill or a slot drill to cut it to the line visibly, and then take another 1.5mm off from there. I am doing this visually, albeit with the help of a magnifying glass, but I've now cut down to the line and I'm going to take another 1.5mm off. I follow the same process for the angle at the back, and you can see there hopefully that this is set back from the edge by 1.5mm. That's to allow for the back of the coal bunker to sit flush with the edge. As much as I like working on the mill with the DRO, it is quite time onerous. Each part needs to be set square before I can actually start doing the drilling. So going forwards, I'm going to go with the more traditional method of marking out using my surface table, centre punching and then drilling. And we can see me doing that here on the rear face of the coal bunker. As before, I am initially drilling these holes out to 8BA tapping size, so 1.8mm diameter. To transfer the holes through to the bracket on the rear of the side panel, I clamp the rear face to the bracket and use the existing holes to drill right the way through. With one hole drilled, I remove the rear face of the bunker, and then using this little tool, which is just basically a first 8BA tap glued into a bit of bar, I tap the hole. With one hole drilled, I use that to secure the rear face against the bracket, and repeat for the other three. With both sides done, I have 3/4 of a coal bunker. Next, I'm going to do the front face of the coal bunker, which I've got here. This needs to sit inside. I think it's around about 1/2 inch, so 12.7mm. But to make it fit, I'm going to need to cut out the corners to allow for the angle I've got at the bottom, and then I'll put some angle at the back and again attach it then to the sides in the same way as I've done with the rear face of the bunker. It's now secured in place, and I've followed the same approach of marking out on the sides and then drilling through, tapping the brackets on the front face, and then of course screwing it into position. A key feature missing from the front face is of course the coal hatch. So let's get on with that now. With the outline cut for the coal hatch, the next thing I'm going to do is make the runners. There needs to be one either side to capture the coal door, to hold it in place but to allow the door to slide up and down. To make them, I'm going to have a go with this bit of flat bar. This is 3/8 by 3/16, 9.5 by 4.5mm in my world. I need to cut 2 pieces to length, which will be the full height of the front bunker face, and then remove a section to allow the coal door to slide down. This is about 1.5 mm oversized, although Don doesn't really specify anything in terms of its depth. I've cut 2 pieces to length, 95mm long. Now I need to reduce them both from 9.5mm down to 8mm across the width. I am running short of good sharp end mills, but we'll give this one a go and see how we get on with it. Holding this rather small piece may be a bit of a challenge. I've got some of these wavy parallels, and that's going to give me, I reckon, around about 1mm. 1mm of depth to grab onto the workpiece. I'm looking to remove around about 1.6, 1.7mm. It's going to be 1.7mm, and I'm going to take that in 3mm across. I'm just using the running board as a test plate. I am more than pleased with that.
I've completed the second runner and I've fitted them both onto the front face of the coal bunker. They're attached by 4 countersunk screws on each side, 8BA as per the brackets. And I followed the same approach by marking out on the bunker face and then clamping the runners in place, drilling right through at tapping size, tapping, etc. You know the score by now. So they're both done. I've used countersunk screws because I don't want anything poking out back into the inside of the coal bunker, which is, of course, what this side is. And the screws I've got, in fact, those 8 are my last 8BA countersunk screws. They're a little bit too short, so although they stand a little bit proud, I won't be able to lose them by filing back. I need longer screws that I can cut off and then file back. So I've ordered a whole load in. The coal hatch door is a simple rectangular piece of mild steel, 1.5mm, same as all the other parts on the cab and the coal bunker. I have drilled a small hole for the handle. This is countersunk on the back. I did manage to find another countersunk screw in my little pot of 8BAs, which is quite cool. And the handle I turned down from some mild steel and then drilled and tapped at 8BA. With the handle fits the door and the door positioned between the runners, I think I can call the coal bunker almost done. There was one part missing which I'd missed earlier on, that's the shelf, or well, I don't know what it's called, but this piece across the top here. So I've made that, of course, and like everything else on the smoke box, drilled, tapped and screwed it into place. I have been doing a bit of digging around, looking for pictures of the prototype, the Hunsler 060 with outside cylinders. There are lots of inside cylinder Hunsler 060s, but the outside ones seem to be a little bit rarer and certainly not so easy to track down photos of. But I have done so, and I guess the biggest issue I've got at the moment is the use of round head screws, because on the coal bunker, in fact all around the cab, on the original or the prototypes, the surfaces are flush and smooth, so these need to go. So what I will be doing is swapping out all the screws for countersunk screws, so that when it comes to paint I can just dab a little bit of filler in to get rid of the screwdriver slots and then paint over the whole lot. I have ordered some and they should be here in the next couple of days, but in the meantime I'll get on with the rest of the cab body. I've got the sides made and the spectacle plate. I haven't yet cut or bent the roof to shape, and I also need to think about how I'm going to secure the roof to the spectacle plate and the sides. Obviously, being a curved roof, I can't just use some brass angle unless there's somewhere I can bend it, which I don't think is going to be practical. But I have some thoughts and we'll cover that off in the next video. Thanks for watching.